Hello, greetings. I am Gilles Mansillon. I come to read today my book prior to its publication. It's called Beyond the Veils of Illusion, I Am. Chapter number 2. The universe is immense, that we know. But what is not known by the majority of human beings or even by the present-day scientific community is that most of the planets of our own solar system are presently inhabited by advanced civilizations which have their own existence in a higher vibrational frequency of light. The civilizations of those planets have evolved long ago beyond the level of material reality, and so our instrumentation, being of the same dimensional order, cannot detect or determine the presence of those more ethereal civilizations. Those worlds and civilizations are intimately connected and work together more or less harmoniously, as well as with the other united world of our galaxy. It is then clear that we are the last planet of our solar system to exist in duality in this form of biological matter known as the third dimension. The only world that being the only world within that dimension, we can feel disconnected or isolated from the rest of the universe. But it is only a temporal illusion because, as a matter of fact or as a matter of truth, it is impossible to exist independently of all that is. Note number 23. We know, or we'll soon find out, that we, in the light of our soul, we are one, and that one is not only eternal but also infinite. This law of one that was in place and known during the golden age of Atlantis, note number 24, is about to be reintroduced on the earth very soon. Our ignorance of our spiritual, cosmic and stellar origin, as well as not knowing our true history on this earth or any other extraplanetary realities, come from, for the most part, from the fact that we have fallen into a cycle of duality a little more than 12,500 years ago after the fall of Atlantis. This is also one of the reasons why we do not yet know the full spectrum of the polychromatic light of our Father, Mother God. It is also the reason why we are still unaware of any other uninhabited world outside of our own, and why no official presentation has been made to humanity from the universal collective. To utilize a simple analogy, one could say that it would be as if we would come to speak to a group of fish that have always lived their life in an aquarium of the life in the ocean, and that the great majority of those fish would not believe that there is indeed an ocean or that the ocean has ever existed. Not being sure of the knowledge anyone may already possess about those cultural realities of the universe, I feel it necessary to explain a few basic facts and essential principles before to move into the initiatic part of this presentation. Note number 23, all that is. It is the supreme frequency of light, God, or the total of all energies which is equal to the spiritual connection, and encompass all realities of all dimensions and all universes, including the presence of the infinite. Note number 24, Atlantis, ancient continent that was the home of the most advanced material civilization that ever dwelt on the earth, and had a golden age during 200,000 years before it self-destructed in an apocalyptic fashion about 12,500 years ago. The continent was originally divided into 10 kingdoms and had a central isle that dominated the 10 kingdoms that was called Undal. At the last cycle of time, there were only 3 major islands left, and the society was divided into 2 groups that were ideologically opposed. Those of Poseida, the Emerald City, that were loving and matriarchal, when those of Aryan and Og were militarist and corporatist. I return to my reading. There is in the immensity of our super galaxy that we call the Milky Way, as well as the nearby galaxies, a staggering number of civilizations that have evolved beyond all spatial and temporal limitations. Those worlds have, for both cultural and security reasons, formed alliances, and the Galactic Federation of Light is the most important as far as we are concerned. This federation is connected and interconnected to numerous fraternities and other groups dedicated to the light and the development of the divine plan. Those federations, confederations, and councils of life that rule the universe are now forming a super alliance that continues its expansion into the light. Our own solar system is directly connected to the system of Sirius, note number 25, or to the Sirius star system on the local level, and the headquarters of the Federation for our region of the galaxy is located not too far from our own solar system, in a star system that is called Vega in the Lyrian constellation. This extraordinary cosmic organization exists for more than 4 million years, and that date from a time when galactic wars were in full swing in this part of physicality. This benevolent federation does not have any hierarchical structure and comprises over 100,000 active members just from our own galaxy. As I have already noted, we are about to make our own ascension with our Mother Earth, and we will thereafter be able to join the Galactic Federation to become galactic citizen, note number 26, of a brand new star nation. Note number 25, Sirius, stellar group that is the home of a great star nation as well as many advanced civilizations. It is a portal of life that is a relay station between the material world and the spiritual world. It is a stellar group which central star is the brightest in our sky and belongs to the Great Dog constellation. The civilizations of Sirius are many and various, as we will soon discover. Their dominant reality is in the sixth dimension, and they are looking to move into the seventh dimension. But there are also those who are still in the fourth dimension and are seeking to move with us into the fifth dimension. The portal of Sirius is a quantum singularity that is crystalline and crystic in nature and lead to the great galactic center. We will use this portal in the future to progress on the dimensional ladder. We may note that the dolphin originally come from an aquatic planet that is orbiting Sirius B. We will soon be introduced to the Sirian humanoid as well as the lion being of Sirius A. The Sirian group is the one that we will become part of after the ascension of our own solar system in preparation for the galactic ascension that will follow. Note number 26, galactic citizens. Human beings are others who have attained the level of full consciousness and live in the light of the fifth and sixth dimension. On to my reading. In our present-day living conditions, if we were to try to explore our galaxy, it is clear that it would take us thousands of lifetimes just to begin. It is the same for the exploration of our own form, our body. We could spend our whole life exploring inside of us and always discover new vision, new truths, new energies, and new treasures. All those treasures, all the treasures of the universe and all the wealth of life that we are seeking is already buried deep within ourselves. But we have forgotten it, and so those mysteries, those treasures, and that wealth remains dormant within our DNA, or may awaken at any time as we call on and remember those spiritual parts of ourselves. If we desire to follow the ascending flow upward, and if we seek to increase the quality of our life and our vibratory frequency, it is important to learn to practice some form of contemplative meditation, so that we may learn to silence our mind and to become contemplative of our thoughts and emotions. In order to do this, we must learn to develop our ability to stay calm or neutral in our emotion, to empty our mental body and to keep it clear. It is possible so that to keep it as clear as possible so that the light may reveal itself within our consciousness. The light that we receive during our meditation when we are having lucid dreams or where we are in a state of receptivity or non-resistance will reveal itself progressively to our consciousness through the opening of our frontal chakra, note number 27, or sixth chakra, also called the third eye, note number 28, or the eye of our mind, and also through the connection of our heart chakra, which is directly connected to the universe of the Creator. If most people are still choosing to live exclusively in their head rather than in their heart, it is because they have not yet and they do not yet understand that the ego mind, the material mind, will never be adequate to comprehend or to discover the realities of the soul, or even simply to process and assimilate emotions. It was not created for that purpose. But this lower mind is destined to become the instrument and the associated of the soul in the eternal and universal adventure of discovery and integration of the divine nature, and not to stay under the ego domination in a continuous struggle of opposition between good and evil in the push-pull motion of the third dimension. I'll read the note 27, chakras. These are energy centers vital energy centers that are aligned on the vertical plane throughout the totality of our physical body. They are subtle energy centers that are invisible in the material dimension, but they are powerful universal centers that connects into our energetic bodies. Our chakras are like hearts that pulsates and filtrates all of our experiences, physical, mental, emotional, towards their point of alignment with the pillar of light. There are hundreds of secondary and associated chakras that are connected to our physical and astral bodies. The third eye, it is the seat or siege of our consciousness. It is the center of energy. It is a center of energy that is located in the center of our brain, and that is called the pineal gland. Once activated, this center turns into a stargate at the center of our vision. It is like a third eye, and once aligned with, enlightened by the divine light, the eye of the mind let us see and enter into other worlds and dimensions. It is a focal point within the ascension process. It is often called the eye of clairvoyance and is located on the level of our sixth chakra. I turn to my reading. That being said, we should not hold any kind of grudges in relation to our ego, because it is the revealer of our divinity and has an important place in our ascension process. The heart possesses its own consciousness, its own intelligence, and never make mistakes. We are all connected and interconnected eternally in the heart of hearts. When we become aware and conscious of the potential of ascension, fears and doubts no longer hold any truth or reality over us, and love becomes the only reality that is becoming acceptable within our heart. We must then forgive ourselves, forgive all others for all the real or imaginary faults that could have manifested into our life, so that we may liberate those energies that are connecting us to the shadow aspect of ourselves or to others in a negative way. The heart knows that only love is real, and that all that is not love is illusionary, ephemeral, and unreal. On the earth's plane, experiences without love are sometimes inevitable or necessary to learn valuable lessons that we have chosen to grow with. Before we can free ourselves and learn to love and share our love of life with all, no matter what the circumstances may be. Unconditional love is the answer to all questions and the solution to all problems. And conditional love is the only energy that connects us to the divine presence in a vital way. The love of God is a primal force that makes everything work, and it circulates eternally throughout all beings and all things in unsuspected manner. And conditional love is the highest frequency of love as we can conceive it and know it on the earth. Without love, life is painful and difficult. With love, life is easy. Without love, life has no meaning, but with love, life is good, exciting, and enjoyable. Real love is not an emotion or even a sentiment, but exists beyond words and has no need to define itself or justify itself. It is an energy that is abundant, free, and available to all at all times. Yet very few people are venturing into loving life without condition or without expectation of specific results. Once we are able to control our physical, mental, emotional, and astral bodies, we then find it easy to ascend into ever-increasing octaves of love and light each and every day. We are all destined to discover the higher mental body or the divine mind, and we will then be able to utilize the full spectrum of polychromatic light to act and create our daily reality. The practice of unconditional love is the one and only way that is given to us to find salvation, and the only means by which to access higher dimensions. Once we have chosen to embrace love, to embrace the way of the heart, which is also the way of wisdom, it is inevitable that new understanding, new knowledge, and new energy come to us to increase our frequency and the quality of our lives. In following that process of integration of ever-increasing octaves of love, we are able to develop our conscious principle of harmony, which will grow day after day in our consciousness until it may become eventually eternal and infinite. That being said, it is obvious that in the illusions of time and the duality, we can believe that life is happening to us and beyond our own personal will. In truth, our powers are immense and without limit, but we have forgotten who we are, and so we have accepted the fact that life is happening to us rather than to choose and create our reality consciously. In saying this, I'm not resting upon a religious doctrine or an adopted philosophical concept taken from someone else, but on a personal realization that is deeply personal and immutable. The spiritual world and the material world are one and the same, as they both come from a unique divine source. But in the spiritual realm, souls are fully aware and conscious of their eternal dependence to the Creator and act in accordance to that knowing, when in the material realms, most souls are not yet aware of that fact and so often act unconsciously or in opposition to the divine law. Many teachers, avatars, educators, masters, and prophets have come and gone to and from this world, and they all have left behind them messages of unity, peace, love, and brotherhood. Yet humanity has not at this time been able to integrate such a knowledge in their collective experience, notwithstanding the efforts of those great personalities. True human brotherhood on the earth is still a philosophical ideal rather than an attained state of being and a living truth in the daily experience of the earth's collective. Even if peace gains ground in every heart each and every day. In the more spiritual frequency of the universe and on more advanced planets of this galaxy, this knowledge and this practice and the practice of this truth is fully integrated and applied at all time. In more advanced civilization, the fatherhood, motherhood, and unity of the Creator of the universe is a vital reality that is experienced consciously by all beings and in each and every moment of their life, which allow them to partake in life with joy and happiness at all time and within all moments of their now. If we are to truly find peace and serenity, each and every one of us needs to make an effort right now to perfect our character, our love, and our lucidity, so that we may enjoy the experience that comes from such an intimate connection to values such as those. The best way to progress in that direction is the daily practice of the four infinite virtues of the heart, which are kindness, compassion, joy, and serenity. The practice of unconditional love is a complex science, but also an absolute priority to all those who wish to move towards a state of liberation or a full consciousness. Unconditional love is the solution to all problems, no matter what is being said by those who are living in the illusion of time outside of themselves and who are not by definition aware of their own divinity. This illusion of separation is about to disappear, and so the entities that are living in the underworld of the fourth dimension, who are used to feed on negative energies, are fighting desperately to keep us imprisoned to negative habit and in repeating scheme and cycles of fear, drama, and other conflicts, so that they may continue to abuse us without the knowledge of their presence or an influence. Once we are able to identify those negative patterns and influences, it becomes possible to deny them the right to exist within our conscious reality. In keeping our emotion and attitude positive or neutral, we are staying beyond the reach of those negative entities, and we become able to live freely in joy of each moment without allowing any sort of drama or discordance to affect us in any significant way, although they may still happen around us at times. Space and interdimensional travel is a sacred activity that demands a certain understanding of the indissociable nature of love, light, consciousness, and the world of energy, as well as a clear intention. The higher we keep our frequency, our level of concentration and vibration, the easier it will become to travel freely in the universe and in the light of the higher dimensions. We must understand that when we are practicing that discipline of interdimensional travel, it is preferable to always do it under the conscious protection and supervision of our guides and guardian angels. Note number 29. We must approach this spiritual science as a gift, and so with gratitude. To progress swiftly in that process, we must have an attitude of gratitude and appreciation for the experience of the now moment and for the divine grace that we receive during those voyages. We will eventually feel and experience the same divine grace in our human life on the earth once we are able to activate our light body, note number 30, by clarifying the line form of our physical body. The universe is fully equipped to answer any and all requirement within all relative reality of all beings and in all dimensions, whether it is earthly or otherwise. There are always numerous angelic and celestial personalities who are able and available to help and assist those who are sincere and benevolent in the realization of their dreams and deepest desires. But it is necessary to ask in order to receive. So do not hesitate to mentally ask your guides, the angels, or the ascended master you might know or connect with for their assistance and guidance when you feel or when you think it necessary or at any time, because now more than ever, those of the higher planes are available and eager to assist and answer your queries as they stand in service to help you to manifest the life you are dreaming of and that you are deserving of, in accordance with the plans of your soul and the highest good of all. We'll read the note number 29, angels. They are celestial personalities whom are dedicated to the service of evolution of their domains, of the domains they are associated with. They do possess free will, but choose the permanent service of the will of divine love, and to follow the plans of the creators of the universe. One of their functions is to be guardian of mortal beings, but not only. Angels are individual personalities that are discreet and subtle. They do not possess any mass or any distinct aspects outside of the divine spark that characterize them. Angels focalize the divine light when we human diffuse it. They are a spiritual force that we can rely upon no matter what circumstance or context they are led to serve us. They live and exist in dimensions of light which allow them to control a vast spectrum of frequencies. They operate within the whole of creation and in all dimensions of reality, even on paradise. Note number 30. Light body. It is a manifestation of angelic nature that is perfectly androgynous and that allows us to evolve in higher dimensions of light. Our light body is a vehicle of transdimensional capacity that come online as we become able to activate certain code within our DNA. There exist 5 light bodies that have been designed for humanity, and the most used is called the Merkaba, chariot in Hebrew, that has the particularity to be both an individual and collective light body. We may note that there are higher manifestations of this vehicle, such as Merkana or Merkara, which are more advanced forms of conscious manifestations. Return to my reading. The creative spectrum of universal citizenry is truly infinite, and each step accomplished in our consciousness will open us to new horizon, new level of cosmic integration, always more refined, more beautiful experiences of reality. Being right now on the very bottom of this great cosmic and dimensional ladder, we cannot yet fully enjoy, and we are unable to suspect the level of realities and the joys of existence that will unfold for us as we climb and ascend into the more subtle planes and ethereal dimensions. Each step is, in truth, but an antechamber, a prelude to a new level of higher consciousness reality, and we can live with the assurance that assurance that throughout all eternity there can never be an end to our spiritual evolutions. Human beings are still living for the most part in the ignorance of the eternal and infinite nature of life, and so they must depend on limited belief systems that are more or less valid, and that even if those belief systems may have negative consequences in their life. All those belief systems have been integrated for the most part during our childhood. They are the source of our negative emotion, and they must be deactivated because the universe does not discriminate when it comes to our emotional production, and let us conduct the flow of our life no matter what that vibration may be. In other words, if we have a belief, no matter what that belief may be, life will come to confirm that belief. Life let us know that we are life will let us know that we are right to believe what we believe, even if the experience created is unwanted by us or considered undesirable. Once we become aware of a negative belief, it becomes discharged and no longer holds any power over us, and so it becomes deactivated. One of the most negative beliefs we hold as a society is one that is associated with the experience we call death. Even if we are not yet aware on how to keep our physical body throughout the ages and to stay young forever, we cannot die in any real way, because this physical body, this human instruments we are wearing now, is but a temporary vehicle, a biological garment that the soul has chosen to wear for a time, but that needs to be changed from time to time once it becomes damaged or unusable, or when it has fulfilled its function and its mission of incarnation. That which we call death is just the letting go of the physical form, but not in any way the end of life. It is the end of an adventure in the world of physicality and the beginning of a new adventure in the light. The phenomenon of death is a transition that usually implies what we commonly refer to as reincarnation, metempsychose, or cosmic transmigration. Death usually brings a sense of liberation to the soul, when birth can be sometimes a traumatic experience. Each individual soul is in charge of its own program of evolution and must fulfill the contract it has chosen for each of its incarnations. We have ourselves planned our life experiences with a lot of care before the manifestation of coming to live in this physical world. Our soul already lives in the fifth dimension and beyond, at the frontier of time, space, and energy. One can say that reaching the fifth dimension would correspond in Judeo-Christian terms at the terms of salvation, or in Buddhist terms at the attainment of nirvana, the liberation from the cycle of incarnation and rebirth. The fifth dimension is an eternal resting place for our soul, but is only a transitory station on our way back to the source of all that is. No matter what dimension or attained level of cosmic understanding, there will always be new avenue of growth that will be offered for our personal and creative development, and that will remain true even if we are to grow indefinitely and eternally. I think it was important to make those few observations on the eternal nature of both the inner and outer workings of life before to continue this presentation. End of chapter 2. Thank you very much.